And welcome to 7 Days to Die Alpha 17.4. Stable version is finally out. Not that it has a lot of new things except for some potential performance improvements, which they even mention at the top here. They have fixed and worked some on the video options and the GFX command not locking behind the admin powers, blah blah blah, and fixed the problem with the traders. So not a lot of new things, but a number of items are still pending to be fixed. But let's have a look here. So they have added Bloom and SS reflections options and reordered. They have made medium shadow distance option and reduced the low to faster values. Ultra graphics presets also changed. And the auto move console command, I have no idea what that is. But at least these three relate to the graphics options. And that is something they've been changing and fixing in Alpha 18. And I think they've backported some of these ones into Alpha 17 because maybe it was relatively easy to do that. And it has potentially a fair bit of difference for the clients, especially the low-end clients. One of the really nice things is that the GFX command, now the default permission is that all clients can use it even on a server. So the way the commands work is that when you're connected to your local single player, of course you have full access to all of them. When you're connected to server, even though it's a client only effect, it will check the server permissions whether you have access to it. So if the server hasn't given access to it, you can't do it even if it doesn't affect the server, it just affects the client. What they've done is they've given the server default permissions such that the client can use it. And that's a nice change. They should have done that before as well. And there's some other commands that they should do the same thing, but one thing at a time. Few more things. Explosion kills don't yield experience. That's been fixed, which is nice, which means that presumably if you're shooting rockets at them, at the zombies, you get the experience. They also mentioned that Molotov burning kills only giving XP for the first enemy. I don't think this is necessarily a problem in the previous versions because I've been doing that since other Alpha 17 versions and I've been getting the experience for all the burning kills. But maybe there were some cases, some use cases where this was an issue, so either way it's good, it's been fixed. Trader having problem with the opening times, that seems to have been fixed. I haven't run into that one, but at least it's good. They were having some issues with the Mac OS and they've been fixing that as well. And again, SSAO graphics option, it's not always on. I guess maybe that's something that they were fixing. Maybe you couldn't disable it even if you thought you did. Another fix was that the zombies didn't damage client after they changed their appearance on PvP servers. And I didn't have that issue previously, but maybe because we don't play a lot of PvP, maybe if you do, that becomes an issue. It was difficult to harvest pigs. Again, I didn't really run into that because there are no pigs in the game. They're all boars. Anyway, maybe they still think they're pigs. Maybe that's what they've been fixing. They've been fixing the pigs, not the boars. But there was some memory leaks that were causing client game crashes, and that's good that's been fixed, but that's always a continual problem. But let's look at some of the known issues that is still a problem. Shotgun driver sound is still a problem, and unfortunately, that's not been fixed. They still seem to have been having issues with the client Molotovs thrown. I think it's a desync issue between the client and host and not being replicated across. I know they've been working on the previous versions, but maybe there's still some outstanding issues there. Another big thing that is still in there is that you have to remove the Steam networking being disabled in the options, and I don't know why they don't do that by default because a lot of people have issues with that. Another big issue is if you are in the vehicle interaction window and you get kicked, the vehicle may become unresponsive, meaning you can never access it again. And maybe they simply cannot tie down all the items, all the occurrences when this happens, and that's why they haven't fixed it. Or maybe the fix is really difficult. I think they should just do a check when the game server starts up. Just go through all the motorcycles, all the vehicles, and make sure they are responsive. Just fix them. There are still some issues with memory may not clear properly after leaving the server, and I run into this fairly often, especially with mods that are graphics intensive, that are fairly big, such as the Jakes, the Melee, or the Firearms. If I run it a couple of times and I try to restart, the game will just stop working, and I end up having to reboot sometimes even my computer because the game refuses to work properly. So there seems to be still some memory loss. And that's about it. What else do you think they should be fixing for 17.5? Or is this good enough? Should they be waiting for Alpha 18? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, you're welcome to join me in my Discord, the link is below. And of course, make sure you follow me on Twitter, I generally follow back all gaming channels. As always, of course, I will see you again next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.